nggak kalian? Dapat ya?
Mana itunya tandanya?
Jauh.
Dapat angin gak sih kita?
Susah taruh ini. Coba KRN deh. Dapat nggak?
KRN aja deh.
Dapat nggak? Nggak dapat.
Sama aja.
Hmm. Wah, hancur. Nah, nah di sini enak nih.
Supporter.
Nih, habis ini enak nih. Asik.
Jat.
Cocok.
Kosidahan.
Wah, gacha. Wah, lupa. Ih, ada yang kotak. Kotak. Aduh, kotak itu is. Apa?
Hah?
Kotak nangis.
Wah, ya udah.
Jadi kita nggak jual apa ini doang kan? Korak sih kita. Kadang korak pergi nih. Ini 3 lagu anjir ini.
Haus.
Makan. Habis lagunya.
Yeay. Semoga selamat di jalan.
Semoga dijelasin selamat dan doakan.
Sama bapak dan ibu diberi
Biasanya di bis ada itu tuh. Di bis terus kadang-kadang ada yang ngaji.
Itu kapal apa sih?
Mana?
Kapal hantu.
Oh, di mana?
Kan.
Wah, sih bang udah. Ini ada bunyi titing gitu.
Masih kosong itu. Kalau masih ada anginnya. Kalau udah gak ada anginnya tapi merah-merah. Itu rajanya lagi ngelawan. Kita masuk portal. Portal Flying Dutchman. Yang di Pirate of Caribbean yang berapa tuh yang terakhir ya?
Yang kelima.
KRS.
Yang segitiga iblis itu.
Belum. KRN dulu aja, ini aja ini.
Yang segitiga itu.
Nomor N.
Oh,
KRN.
yang matahin Trisula. Trisula pos.
Nih,
Iya.
aja nih.
Trisula ya.
Lewat portal
Ini
aja.
segitiganya nih. Wah, segitiga iblis.
Oh iya.
Bentuknya kan itu terowongan goa.
Trisula Yega.
Yang Jack Sparrow-nya tuh pakai harpun. Harpun sih.
Berantas
tarik.
musuh di sekitar.
Iya. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
Wah, adem sih sumpah liatnya tuh. Oh,
Iya. Anjir mau lihat gak? Iya lagi main Genshin.
Genshin.
Iya.
Biar lagi
Apalagi gini,
adem loh.
berenang gak?
Yang bilang ayam GTA 5 sama GTA jelek. Macam ini
Kalah gitu ya airnya.
jelek. Soalnya bagusan ini. Sumpah. Coba.
Astaga, dia tabrak batu.
Kepala orang itu ya?
Iya itu kalau orang.
Itu di perang nih. Mah hantu. Oh, dia ngambil merah-merah ya? Dia lagi
Order guide you.
sekarang ini
Oz revealed by I'll protect us. I summon thee.
itu musuh ada itu sama aja. Sumpah jelek banget tuh musik anjir. Sumpah. Istilah
Nggak pengen dengerin, belum pernah dengerin lagu ini.
makanya juga mau itu.
Untuk menghormati kawan kita yang telah gugur di teladan. Kita ucapkan selamat tinggal.
Itu gue nggak mati sama begal dong deh.
Mending nyetel lagu itu nah, Varietas Karabian biar keren.
Nah,
Ayo,
karena nggak ada yang chill. Lagu tegang semua. Chill ada tau nggak lagu yang chill?
harusnya ada ini nih.
Apa menghidupkan cipta? Dengan
Ya,
seluruh ya. Di itu layar satu dia. Denger suaranya dari berisik lagu yang gak enak anjing. Sumpah.
Ini nih.
Udah menyaring suaranya anjir. Wah tuh sumpah berisik banget. Ini
Bukan
gendang.
kayak lagu ini apa? Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Yang
Lagunya ini
Black.
Watchmen. Film Watchmen. Let's set. Pause aja, pause.
Kan shuffle gua dapatnya.
Ini aja Grog My Last. Coba.
Kayak depan deh.
Gitar.
Kayak depannya. Tuh depannya.
Kamu yang ini, kamu yang bos. Saya pas.
Yang mana? Tembus tuh mana? Ini.
By royal decree, midnight
Ya,
phantasmagoria.
Empat ini.
This is order.
Empat lah. Ke kiri dong. Ke kiri dong.
Posisi mirip. Terakhir.
Nah,
Solidify.
ini kayak musisi.
I'll protect us.
Wah. Kok gak berhenti sih? Belum buat kepala rusak. Wah, meredup lagi tuh. Wah,
Ini posisinya.
gelap banget anjir ya. Gak ada nyalain gitu lampunya. Simbol.
Mana ya ada mana nih, ada Mali. Sini.
Beruduk.
Hujan is.
Ini di SLT.
Oh,
Game.
di gamenya.
Apanya?
Hujan beneran.
Download dong. Lagi ya kan.
Relevan banget loh.
Order guide you.
Mantep.
Banget lah.
Let the show begin.
Mantap. Oh. Belak sini. Aku mau.
Nan, ini Nan, dapat ini Nan.
Mantap.
Nan, dapat ini. Inspect. Dapat koin.
Ini informasi. Sini. Madam di mana sih? Nah ini.
Si Madam.
Let's dance. Oz, reveal thyself.
Thank you, Nek. Thank you. Pirate, not like my friend of his magic.
Gather.
Yo.
Bos, jangan-jangan ini Ros yang ketik. Wow.
I will have order.
Kok gelap banget anjir ini?
Rise.
Sudah kapalnya enak banget loh.
By royal
Kayak
decree.
gini ya.
Let the show begin.
Kita belok ada yang
Dear Olive.
harpun.
Mau ngambil Junala dulu nggak? Hmm?
Belokin anjir.
Ih, ada ikan.
Banyak sih ini. Banyak ikan.
Baru tahu di Genshin
Bocor,
ada
bocor.
ikan.
Bocor,
Dulu.
bocor.
Udah lama berarti itu.
Iya, udah lama kan Genshin. Apa tuh Mbak Catherine?
Bisa dapat senjata sih kalau mau.
Mainnya aja. The Real Titanic ini.
Bisa jadi bisa.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Gak apa-apa. Nama Junala kan nih? Junala boleh.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Sebelah mana?
Ngambil di jurnal dulu kan? Tepatnya mah Karapiar kayak sini nih.
Oh, mau kalian jurnal dulu gitu.
Iya. Mau ngambil apa nggak usah?
Kata saya mah. Iya. Ah, dia selek anjir.
Ya. Ini.
My bad deh, my bad.
Kecuali nih. Nah, iya. Kenapa sih? Kecuali hadiahnya bagus, baru kita jurnalnya dilengkapin terus.
Ya udah, kita karakter
Ini
ke SW.
jangkar doang, ini pikiran doang.
SW baru kita ada.
Komplit 5 kali lagi nan.
Ya udah, itu aja deh. Pajar aja. SW.
So.
I do worry about the well-being of my retinue during my impromptu.
Duduk.
Uduk.
Iya. Oke.
Dari Sabang sampai Oke. Dari Jajar pulang. Di kiri ada apa? Layar 2 ya?
Nggak pernah bersatu. Itulah
Indonesia. Indonesia negara. Hai.
negara
Benteng.
benar. Sensor guys. Nanti besok hilang.
Ini kanan kayaknya deh. Kalau kecil soalnya.
Children, come.
Ini kanan.
You've arrived at just the right
Kalau kecil tuh.
moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no.
Gak usah ya.
You've done so much for Lea Harbor already. I could hardly ask for
Kalau
more.
kecil ini.
In fact, my old friends and I
Welcome
have
to
been
Raphael
putting our
King.
heads together to think of what sort
In
of
this
gift
position,
we
yeah.
might give you in return.
A gift? For Paimon?
Ada apa tuh? Ada Phantom.
Oh,
Pandalam
child,
mana?
you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. I simply won't allow it. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often
Oh,
camp
bro.
out in the
Yes, Margaret.
wilds.
Anjing.
Iya.
That simply won't do. Especially since I imagine you still have a
Photo.
very long
If you hold
journey
in.
ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my
Photo.
subspace creation abilities atrophy.
Give me Mjolnir. Photo.
Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination, if you will.
Oh,
I will not go into too much detail,
ya.
but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you wanted previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
Icap.
So, in the eyes of an adeptus,
Hmm,
creating a
banyak ini
magic
dah,
teapot
kamu.
world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the
depan
teapot
kamu
is
kan,
nothing to boast of. One such as myself
Yang
must
ini.
depart from this
Bukan,
realm to
bukan,
create a
bukan.
world of
Iya,
one's
bonus
own.
Hujan terus.
Rex Lapis, on the other
Dingin,
hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call
Dia
an
meninggal.
exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither and thither.
Wah, gambar petir.
I have already
Petir sambar
found
petir.
a fleet-footed youngster to prepare what I need.
Gimana?
What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the
Wah.
materials I am searching for.
Dinginan.
Some of them are very rare indeed these days.
Waduh.
Dulu.
Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glaze lilies thrived most
Di
profusely.
ujung.
You would have to dig downward,
Di sini
following the
belum.
roots of the glaze lilies.
Belum.
And if you were lucky
Udah
enough,
kesini.
you just might find
Ah,
a
di
small
sini.
patch of For shimmer starters, soil there.
Starters.
But almost no one has been able to
Ini
find
bantu
shimmer
nih.
soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be the way it is today. Even
aku
more
diserang
difficult
phantom.
to find is Smaragdus
Kenapa semua pandal?
jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to
Bosok kayak
be.
ini.
Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, Smaragdus
No.
jadeite
Oh,
is an
enggak.
adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not
Kok
something
ayamnya
that most
kalau
humans can withstand.
Iya, ini
Extended
air.
contact with it is
Ada
in fact
belum.
harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will
airnya
succeed
dingin.
in finding these
Di atas.
items.
Makin dingin dong, Bang.
Di air mah.
Well, since you're an adeptus,
Ada kencing
Ada
ada.
Granny,
penampakan.
the person
Allah.
who asked for help,
Itu warna
they
merah.
must be an adeptus
Kulit
too,
orang.
right?
Kayak
Buat
ini.
dong.
Yes,
Setan api itu apa?
I suppose she
Banaspati.
does count as an adeptus.
She.
Kamu pun masih.
How come there are so many adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you go out to eat, you could be sitting next to an adeptus and never
Bagus
even
ya.
know it.
Di lagu
Memang
Maybe
romantis
so.
gitu.
You
Di
can
ini.
say a fair few of my old friends are rather
Inazuma.
fond of mundane mortal life. After
Inazuma
all.
yang di warung itu
I'm
dah.
back, Granny.
Loh.
Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors.
Yes.
This child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for me.
Gila kompasnya udah kayak gangsing
Yen
anjir.
Fei, I
Mer-
believe
mer-
you've already heard of the
Kita
traveler and
berturut-turunan.
her traveling
Iya,
companion.
Waduh.
Baru
Of
sehari
course,
live.
who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's
Orang-
most wanted
kalau
after the
orang Kristen
Millilith marked you as
berdoanya
a
gini.
suspect following the incident at the
Dari
Rite
mana?
of Dissension.
Hmm.
After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui.
Aku sih nggak tahu ya, Bang ya.
Finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her
Lagoon
associates,
of
and
Whisper.
subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chiseng. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion
kita
immediately, but it
ngewirit.
certainly would have been less
Kanan.
embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal
Wah,
problem? You can
kamu-
come right to me.
Kamu kan lagi live.
Oh, yes.
Suara
Here's my
kita
business
ada
card.
nggak?
You'll find it has my
Adanya,
contact
kesaring.
details and office address. Keep it handy.
Waduh.
If you have an
Di
urgent
ini
issue,
aja.
just leave me a note at this address. Oh,
Gimana
and I
ya?
almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous
apa?
discount for first-time customers.
All right,
Biar suara
Yen
kita
Fei, all
nggak
right.
ganggu live streaming.
Let's get to the business at hand. I do not
Biar
think
nggak
these
ganggu
two are in
videonya.
any dire need of legal
Sorry,
assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yan Fei. She's always been
ini.
like this. Ever the talkative one when it comes to her own affairs.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before. An Adeptus?
Iya ada.
I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Dibelokin.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn
Baru mau lahir
contracts
dulu.
to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff?
Baru
What do
jangan.
you mean he just went back to get married? Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked
Oh,
for,
Ra.
except for Smaragdus jadeite.
Pacar.
I couldn't find any at all.
Pacar,
The
pacar.
chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no
Ada
way
bacain
in.
komen.
Couldn't secure any
Bacain
documentation.
komen
either.
dong.
Kita lagi
Looks like the
mencari
Ministry of
Inazuma
Civil
nih.
Affairs is serious about keeping it
Kita
strictly
manual
locked down.
berenang. Anjay.
Is that so?
Ya Jumelivan.
But
Pakai ini.
Smaragdus jadeite is
Pakai
really
belakang ya,
rather
belakang.
essential.
RS.
Yanfei, are you sure you
Gak
can't
bisa
find
lihat.
some other
Ini
way?
kompasnya,
They have helped
kompasnya
me
gangsing anjir.
greatly after all. It is only
Kompasin
right
aja.
that they are duly rewarded.
Kompasin aja.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times
Oh.
already. Well, the chasm's
Tenang,
definitely a
belum.
no-go. But there's still a
Udah
chance
stabil.
we can figure out
Belum,
some
belum,
alternative
es.
means of procurement.
Kalau lagi
Gua deh.
muter, kompas itu juga muter-muter.
Hold on
kalau
a
kesana.
moment. Let me have
Oh,
a look.
DC gua.
Nih sekarang. Coba muter-muter gak?
What kind of things
DC
do you
tadi
write in
enggak.
there? Commercial consultancy. Or Snezhnaya. Ah, found
Tadi
him.
DC.
Crossel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Smaragdus
lebih baik kita
jadeite,
bantu
or
dulu,
might have an
kawan.
idea of where we can find some.
Aja.
Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow. An Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring
Wah,
legal
tsunami
liability.
anjir.
That's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual
Wah,
while we're with
gila.
her.
Gila. Tsunami guys. Kapal banjir anjir. Ini adalah di depan bajak laut guys. Di mana kita tuh harus berperang di tengah laut dengan ombak yang sangat deras.
Ada donat tuh. Oh enggak.
Marhaban Ramadan Magadir Astagfirullah Magadir.
Apa anjir?
Pak Is hiperaktif ya.
Gitu kalau gue juga nggak tahu. Aduh. Sorry
Hello,
guys.
Mr. Crossel. How's business been?
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei.
Oke, ombak
What
mulai
brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was
mulai
simply
rendah,
doing my
mulai
job.
sedang.
Now, I believe that the last time we
Awan mulai
met,
cerah.
you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece of Smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins.
Apa?
Miss
FYP
Yanfei,
terusnya
might I
jadi ini
presume that
tahu,
you have an
jadi yang
interest in the
tawuran-tawuran.
hairpins? I
Yeah.
must apologize, I've
Iya
already
loh,
rented them out
kok
to a lady
bisa?
named Jiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you
Tadinya
may have to
sebelum
wait
yang tawuran
quite some time.
ini yang
Wait,
pohon
is
pisang
that Smaragdus
cocokin.
jadeite really rare? I'm
Tiga
sure
adalah
those
anjir.
hairpins can damage or lost while they're being rented out.
Biasanya
No,
udah
I'm not
tertata.
worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Zhiqiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Pokoknya dekat daerah pasir gitu.
Guaranteed genuine?
Depan kafe.
With 10 times the value payable if this
Lagoon
claim is
of
shown to be
Despair.
false? Yes,
Yeah,
these
Lagoon of
terms are
Despair.
very clear
Lewat
indeed.
bang.
Of course.
Ada
This way,
urutan
both the
lain.
client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
In that case, might you know where Miss Zhiqiao lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Gila.
Oh,
Akhirnya
of course.
kita
She
bisa
wrote her address
merasakan
down when we
tenang
signed our
di ruang.
contract. Here,
Cahaya
I'll mark it on
matahari.
your map for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossel. We'll be off now.
Emangnya SSD tuh lagi naik ya harganya?
Apa SSD? Iya kayaknya
Emang lagi
naik
naik
kali. Iya kali. Paling buat mining.
Iya sih,
Biasaan.
biasaan.
Oh iya, yang kemarin tuh ada NVM2 NVMe biasa, ada yang PC IA.
Nah,
Itu yang biasa itu sama aja kayak SATA SSD kecepatannya. Jadi percuma beli.
jadi
maksudnya-
belinya yang Gen 2.
Kalau mau yang PCIe dia udah giga per second.
Berapa is paling murah?
Oh,
Paling murah
whatever shall I do?
100.
400. Itu berapa? GB?
Yes,
NVMe.
that's me.
Berapa?
Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do,
200
Mr. Chow? We understand from
antara
Mr. Crossell
tergantung
that you
merek ya.
recently rented a pair of hairpins from him.
200 kayaknya 250.
My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you
bro,
mind
kayak
letting us
mahal
take a
banget
look at them?
PCIe ternyata.
The hairpins.
PCIe mahal.
I can't lend them to you right now.
Tunggu skin anjing.
I've lost them. I
Ih,
don't
sih,
know
gua
how
mau
it could have
skin ya.
happened. I always kept them right
Iya,
by my
mahal
side, and I hadn't even worn them yet.
Cuma dapat 100 doang sih.
I spent so much money on them.
NVMe mah.
If I have to pay their original value,
Tapi gini loh, kalau
there's
misalkan
no way I could
ngedit
come up with that amount of money on such
terus
short
filenya
notice.
itu ada di hard disk,
Mm-mm.
tetap nge-lag,
I
tetap lama
My
gitu.
family is in the ore business
Nanti
too.
harus
Contoh
full
saya mau
SSD.
ngedit,
Business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed
filenya
off.
tuh harus di SSD.
We now
Contoh
have a
saya ngedit di
backlog of
After
paid up
Effects ya.
orders just sitting around. So we've been having to purchase some
Si
stuff
videonya
from
itu
other ore
jangan
merchants
After
to
Effects,
complete
After itu
them.
paling mainnya
A big banquet is coming up
detikan
in a few
menitan
days, and
karena
several
buat
ore
efek dong.
merchants I know of will
Premiere
be
mah
there. I need this opportunity to mingle and
file
discuss
videonya tuh ada
prices.
di hard disk.
That's what the
Jadi
hairpins
yang-
were for, to,
Yang ini tetap hard disk.
well, to keep up
Saya baru
appearances.
tahu loh. Saya kira
I can't have them looking down on me.
ini
But now that I've lost the
Sama-sama ngaruh.
hairpins, what will I do?
aplikasinya doang yang pakai SSD.
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja
Pantesan
vu?
kok lama gitu.
Would you really?
Kayak
I sent a
ini
commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back
Kok
from them
pakai
yet.
Downloading
SSD yang
video.
SATA
Hold
pun
on.
udah cepet
Don't
juga.
run off looking for the hairpins just yet.
Kenapa?
Mr.
Pakai
Chow,
SSD yang SATA juga
would you
cepet
let me have a
juga.
look at the rental contract you signed?
Tetap apa?
Huh?
Cepet,
Well, I mean, sure, I have it right
Cepet
here.
rusak.
Here you are.
cepet. Maksudnya
Oh,
iya,
kecepatan
cepet.
tetap cepet.
Iya, cepet.
That's right. Yanfei said she's a
Yang
legal
biasa juga
advisor,
cepet
didn't she?
sebenarnya mah.
Maybe she can help
Kalau
Juqiao
misalkan
somehow.
orang belum puas kan
True.
itu.
Though surely there
Ada
must be a
solusi.
win-win
Ini jualan.
solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The
Ini kayaknya
terms are
bisa jual
very
di
clear,
ikan.
and they do indeed stipulate that you
Coba ya.
must pay Mr. Crossell the
Mancing.
original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract
Mbak,
also
mancing,
expressly
mancing.
states
Mancing
that the
keributan
amount of
dong.
compensation must take current market prices into
Wah,
account.
abang mancing rebutan kayaknya
And
bang ya.
given the rarity of Smaragdus
Ih, gue
jadeite,
oper jadi. Gue
I fear that the final
gue
amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Even higher. Oh no.
Ah, mungkin keributan ya dari bukan lagi
Juqiao
ikan
looks
jadi
like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed
Okay.
genuine
Baru
Smaragdus
ada
jadeite that was inlaid into the
Capek
hairpins.
ya.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part?
Udah lumayan.
Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if
Itu
the
yang dipakai
jadeite
Rara
is genuine or
Arts.
not? Whichever way you look at it,
Wah,
we've
ada
got to
baru
start by
ini
finding
listrik.
those
Wah,
hairpins.
sambil gedek.
Except that if we found the hairpins,
Kamu bawa
there'd
belut
no longer
listrik.
be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Yang dipakai Tara tuh yang
Seems
terbaru 2 TB
Please,
terus
please, I
dipakai
don't trouble
pakai
yourselves over
PS5
this.
kan itu.
The fact is, I lost the item, and I
Iya.
should pay compensation per
Gitu
the
yang
contract.
baru sistem.
Dia gak ngotak.
However much it
Yang
is, I will have to pay it.
Lu
My
2
family are
TB.
merchants, after
Ya
all.
itu yang ratakan.
It's vital that we keep our word and
SSD
respect our
ratakan.
contracts. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer.
dia mancing.
I'll go and inform him of
Kamu
the issue
terbalik.
and then negotiate the amount of
Disposition
compensation.
ya.
Yes,
Are you
legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions
Aku
about
ada
the
monster
hairpins.
lagi di belakang.
So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow.
Tadi di
When
mana?
you first touched the hairpins,
Gak ambil lah.
what did you feel?
What did I
Oh, ini
feel?
Strike.
Well, I remember that the gemstones set
ditonjokin
into the
siapa?
pins were
Oh, meninggal
Perfectly
yang
smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much
Aduh,
jade
Bang.
pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite
Ada
certain of
juga.
my judgment in this matter.
Belum rame gini.
Smooth to the touch. Finest quality jade. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over to Mr. Crossel's.
Kenapa bener-bener kan hiu di sini, bodoh. Pergi loh.
Ih, langsung meninggal dong.
Kenapa?
Help. Itu sekali hit itu, nah.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
Yaudah, yaudah. Udah.
About that.
Ada jurnal emang di sini.
Bodoh ya. Itu otak itu.
You
Gak ada
lost them? Are you
Nggak ada.
serious?
Dia nggak
Do
ngambil.
you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truly, I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract. Every last mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea
That
what
is
I had to
enough.
go through to get my hands on that
Bener ini.
smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem.
Susah banget,
But
kecil
before I
banget
can give an
anjing.
official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah,
Oh.
yes, and if I may just
Wah,
confirm
bakal.
again, it was in fact
Aduh.
genuine smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Di mana nih?
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
Nggak ada.
Saya.
Lo ada.
All right,
Saya belum.
understood. I'll conduct some market
Wah.
Ininya
research,
dia
and
apa?
once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of
Aduh,
the sum
belum
owed by Mr.
ngambil.
Chow in compensation.
Ada
Please
lagi
wait
emang.
here, Mr. Crossell.
Thank you very much.
Ada lagi.
How could she
Nggak ada.
lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Itu.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Kolonel
Please wait, Mr.
Isling.
Chow. I have something to discuss with you.
Hiu.
It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more
Parah.
detail.
NE. Parah. NE.
Oh.
Harus cepat gitu.
Udah 2 hari nah gak tidur. Itu dah.
I
Miss
can
Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
I believe
No.
I can fly.
What I wanted to talk about is
Meninggal.
there is a
Tidak-
chance
tidak-
that the
tidak.
ore inlaid on those hairpins may
Ini
not be
beneran.
smaragdus jadeite after all.
Itu benar.
What do you mean? Are you
Bang, depan
implying
sekarang
that you
Bang.
already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the
Indonesia
guild.
Bombok.
I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if
Laba-labo.
Granny told you
Sekarang.
this, but smaragdus
Lubu-lubu.
jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case.
Ini
And
makanan
in the
kamu.
worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
Pancasila.
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossel's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus Jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yunfei.
Ada yang komen
Oh, that
no.
won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can
Sebut
I ask
nama
you to
Percaya.
please sign
Anda
this contract?
siapa ya?
Huh?
Sound of
Ada yang komen no.
Contract for everything. Paimon can't. It feels like Yantei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract.
Mau pindah
Any work
rumah.
commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages.
Ada
That's all out of brain juice again.
ini.
Alright, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy.
Wah, coba. Temanya
Not
Indonesia.
for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared
Keren
away.
banget sih
I
ini
don't
game.
believe you have been part of an investigation like this before. In
Wais.
which case,
Suaranya
hopefully this should be
patah-patah deh.
quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei,
Iya,
I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geo-energy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? Ah, I've got it!
Yang
Let's
paling
pay a
mahal
visit
yang
to
paling
Chateau,
kuat, guys.
the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a
Karena
professional
hijau
when it
itu
comes to
termasuk
working
warna
with
dasar,
stone and
guys.
ore. If Mr.
Emang
Crossel
merah
had his
bukan
ore
warna.
worked on at all,
Antara
Chateau would undoubtedly have been his
kuning
first
sama
choice.
bukan warna dasar.
Revisi deh. Coba.
Kan AR ini RGB. Red,
Why, hello
red,
there, honored
green,
customers.
blue.
Welcome to. Oh, it's you,
Mana sih
Miss
ini?
Yenfei.
Oh,
Is,
ini kenalin.
is something the matter?
Bang, bang.
Surely
Kenapa?
not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win. Oh, I swear on
Oes.
all that is sacred.
No, nothing
Oes.
of the sort. Has a
Di mana,
Snezhnine
Bang?
merchant named Crossel enlisted
Di
your ore
belakang.
processing services
Iya.
recently by any chance?
A Snezhnayan merchant named Krosel, you say?
Ada apa chat R? Kan?
I do remember that.
R.
He brought me a piece of ore,
Udah.
claiming that it was Smaragdus jadeite.
Gitu doang.
GG
That was the
game.
first time I'd ever encountered it,
Biar keren
so I
aja
had no
belakang.
way of telling if it was really Smaragdus
Ada
jadeite or not.
skoci.
But if a customer insists, far be it
Kalau
from me
tenggelam
to
kan pakai
contradict
skoci.
them.
Kayak
He
dulu
was
anjir.
quite generous with his money too,
Pakai
so
skoci
I
di
didn't
tangan
give it
saya
too much
sama
thought.
Fajar.
I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have
Ada
any
penutur
leftover
lagi.
debris from your work on it?
Iya loh. kita pakai
Why,
Scorpio
yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few
Tengah
loose shavings
laut.
to study myself later.
Pakai
They're
skoci.
right over there, in
Jalannya
fact.
lama.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Hasilnya lumayan juga sampai sekarang.
Ada batu akik.
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me,
Talking.
the cross sections and patterning suggest that
Main ini aja.
these are Smaragdus nephrite
Plus
shavings.
main ini.
Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time.
Nice.
I've heard
Yo,
it said that Smaragdus
nice.
nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental
Tapi
energy.
enggak on.
Smaragdus nephrite
Nggak
is
tahu.
an entirely
Main
ordinary
ML
ore
kali.
containing no elemental energy
Kan kalau
whatsoever.
di
Is
Discord.
that so? Well,
Tidur kali.
we might
nggak
as well
tahu
give
juga.
elemental
Nggak tahu
side
juga.
a shot. So, did you find anything?
Making love.
So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was
Welcome
just
to
by
London.
looking at the shards?
Lonely
That's
Isle.
pretty awesome.
In this position
There's
here.
nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time.
Are you
These two
serious?
stones actually look very similar.
Yes.
Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart.
Are you
There may
sleep?
be only a subtle difference
Yes.
for the casual viewer, but that translates to
Oh,
an astronomical
stupid.
difference in terms of the market price.
Beautiful.
And I'm sure a significant difference
Oh,
in the
nice.
cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
Gila,
But
keren banget.
never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Ini musik box.
Unusual
Visual.
actions have unusual reasons behind them.
Habis
Let's
box.
take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Dengerin. Kentong.
Oh, gede. Di flick.
Waduh.
Yeah.
Fix wine.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire?
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir.
Malah tuh.
Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the
Ooh,
ore he brought to your store was in
mengerikan.
fact Smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, one chunk Smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing
semua.
record and these
Gila,
stone
kenapa jadi
shavings?
horor?
Of
Ini,
course.
kita setel,
But
kita
might
dengerin.
I ask why
Kita
you
ritual.
need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit.
Hai
This
semua,
document shall
Mary.
serve as signed proof that
Terima
these
kasih
stone
telah
shavings
memberikan
originated
kesempatan
from the
untuk menemani.
ore that Mr. Crossell
Coba.
brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes.
Mulai
I
dari-
see. I see. Forgive me for
Di
asking
sini ada jurnal.
again, Miss Yenfei. But
Okay.
might I know the
Boleh masih enggak?
nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an
Ini
incident,
di bawah kan?
just a minor issue.
Iya.
Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard
Itu
evidence
dari
to
kasih aja
back
ke
us up,
Santoria.
Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
Gampang aja.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find
Kemarin
something a
gua-
little more compelling.
Bener-bener
If you
ini
want to
aja.
make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me
Jadi gini
think.
ceritanya.
Jewelry.
Nah,
Jewelry.
betul, betul.
Hmm,
Coba
Karena
deh.
gua
nope.
suka
Aha,
kebutuhan
got
sendirian.
it. Singsi.
Orang
She
gila sih
often helps
beneran.
people to find a
Aduh.
jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick.
Dan
How come you know so many
baru
people?
kali ini gue merasakan
Because
hal
lots
yang
of people
aneh
come to me for legal advice
saat
every
gue
day.
bermalam di sana.
As you know, Liyue
Ah,
Harbor is
clickbait.
the city of contracts.
Cerita-cerita
And
bullshit.
contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to
Ken,
us.
we.
But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are
Ken, we.
unnecessarily
Ken, we.
complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish.
Shoot.
As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to
Ini ada
finish?
skillnya nggak sih yang ini nih?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because
Bakal
I've
ini.
memorized all the legal codices.
Kayaknya ada deh skin.
Memorize them?
You sound
Uangnya
surprised.
bagus.
Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know?
Ini ada
Oh,
skin apa
this
nih?
has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then.
Ini
Let's go look
ini
for Singsi.
apa? Pulau Tunda, Pulau Tunda. Yo, yang mau snorkeling bisa di sini. Itu yang ada bukitnya Sangiang, Sangiang.
I created another universe and founded paradise. For I.
Ini mau jual langsung apa gimana? Sebentar aja. Ntar aja kali ya. Mau jual langsung. Ntar aja sih.
Iya.
Belum
Emang
dikit.
dimana?
Mau jual langsung.
Iya dong.
Mau dijual.
Kan mau kita lanjutin lagi petualangan. Apa Valorant? Oh,
Apa
enggak ya.
lo?
Lagi main Genshin ya.
Oh iya, main Genshin.
Jewelry's out of stock.
Ini nan, ininya.
Ini
Oh,
satu lagi di
Xianfei,
mana?
it's you. Has something happened?
Oh, satu lagi
Did
di
the client from
bawah.
last time
Have no further trouble from then
Ada
on?
dua.
Yes, of course.
Oh, ada dua.
I'm just here to
Satu lagi
ask
mana?
you
Ini ininya.
questions. Has a
Iya,
merchant
kota
by
di
the name of
Santoro.
Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Dimas satu lagi itu.
Raikan.
Yes,
Huh?
I remember him.
Satu lagi di
He's
mana?
a merchant from Snezhnaya, no?
Oh, di sini.
Yes,
Iya,
he came to me with a chunk of something
ampun,
called
tercut.
Smaragdus jadeite. The design of the hairpins
Iya,
that
di
he gave
sini.
me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually,
satu
I
lagi
found
nih?
an
Ya,
older
betul, betul.
jewelsmith who made them exactly
Satu
according to
pemadam.
his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I
Udah
remember
didoyong
it so
sih.
well.
Doesn't seem like
Weh,
there's
gue
any
nggak
evidence
pas
to be found here.
Miss Sinksy,
Oh.
I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Ye, keren.
I take it
Sulap,
then
sulap,
that
sulap, sulap.
there's been some more trouble?
Sulap nan, sulap.
Nothing you need to worry
Prok,
about.
prok, prok.
Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as
Wih,
soon as I'm done with it.
Apa tuh?
Thanks again.
Kompas.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
Kompas.
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to
Jadi,
make one last trip.
berikutnya kompasnya
Let's
mana?
go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr.
Kompas ini nih.
Baishu.
Kompas. Jack Sparrow.
The weirdo with the
Kapten
snake
Jack
around
Sparrow.
his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Arahnya ke sana.
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that
Selesai.
Smaragdus jadeite is harmful
Ini
to the
apa
human
lagi?
body.
Kompasnya
Once
di
we
lab.
have this final piece of evidence in our
di
hands,
Arahnya
we
ke
can wrap
SW.
this case up.
Oh, SW. Di pulau dong, Mas. Nggak mungkin di sini, Mas.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some.
Pulau dong, nggak mungkin di sini.
Oke, my bad. You bad, you bad. Oke. Oke aja dong.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll
Mandi.
Karena SW tuh. Kalau karena SW gitu lah kan?
Sayonara. RRQ lawan Onyx siapa yang menang dah? Coba saya lihat dulu deh.
SW.
RRQ aja. Tapi gak ada lemon. Nggak mau dukung RRQ. Masih main anjir. Onyx 2 RRQ 1. Terus PWG-nya kita lihat Super Weekend. Woo! EVOS nampaknya memimpin untuk mendapatkan rank pertama di playoff minggu kali ini. Wahai anak muda.
Betul.
Seruan Malaysia tahu kok casternya.
Apa jual aja kayak gitu.
Budak nih. Apa gitu? Adalah tuh. Mengerikan.
Uy,
Mengerikan.
yang ngirit sih kurang ajar ya. Nggak sopan.
Mengerikan.
Depan kan? Depan.
Itu yang
Depan karang bang. Kanan dikit.
arah mana dah?
Ini
Saya belum
SW.
saya belok ya.
Ada kompasnya kan nggak lagi. Depan
Oh, iya.
karang.
Itu yang episode ini ya, hantu itu.
Nggak tahu. Ini.
I hear the voice of fate,
Waduh.
speaking
Gua
my
nontonnya
name
unyil.
in humble
Sorry deh.
supplication.
Ipin sekarang nggak ini tahu episodenya nggak lanjut, kayak nggak lanjut. Harus nonton di YouTube.